Welcome to the Militia Gaming Community Channel. I'm Trigger Militia, and today I will be talking in depth about how to win more with Bangalore in Apex Legends, specifically on Xbox One. Before we get into the video, I want to mention all the videos on my channel are for Xbox players. That doesn't mean that if you're a PlayStation or PC player, you can't learn from my videos, but all of the button callouts, strategies, and reviews I do are specific to the Xbox One platform. If you're an Xbox player, you find this video helpful, and you want more Xbox-specific guides, strategies, and tech reviews, consider subscribing. I only play on an Xbox One, so that's the entire focus of my channel. Also, stay tuned until the end of the video where I will be sharing with you 5 Bangalore Pro tips. If you already understand the basics of Bangalore and want to skip ahead to the pro tips, check the description for a timestamp. Alright, let's go! First, let's talk about the different legend archetypes. Much like Overwatch, Apex Legends has 4 different types of legends: offensive, defensive, support, and tracking. Bangalore is an offensive legend. Her abilities complement an aggressive playstyle. She's at her best when pressuring and attacking the enemy. Bangalore's passive ability, Double Time, gives her a short speed burst while sprinting and being shot at. This ability is super crucial, as it usually throws off the enemy's aim for a short time, and that short time is often the difference between dying and getting away to heal. The ability is active for about 2 seconds and will trigger again almost immediately if you are sprinting and being shot at. There is nothing you need to do for this ability to be triggered. It is completely passive and will happen on its own, but 2 things need to be happening. You need to be sprinting and you need to be being shot at, or a grenade nearby, or being attacked. You have to be being attacked in some way. Her tactical ability, Smoke Launcher, is a high-velocity smoke canister that explodes into a wall of smoke on impact. To use this ability, aim where you want the smoke wall to appear and then tap the left bumper. You can also hold down the left bumper and the guideline will appear. This shows you, like when you are throwing a grenade, the arc path of your smoke grenade and where it will land. Then, when you have it just right, release the left bumper and Bangalore will let it fly. I usually only do this when shooting my smoke grenade long distances because while holding left bumper, I'm completely vulnerable to attack. Although you can shoot your regular guns and sprint while holding left bumper, it is tough to multitask, and it's easy to make mistakes like having poor aim or shooting the smoke into the wrong area. This is by far the ability you will be using the most with Bangalore, and I know a lot of other guides will say that the passive is more important, but I really believe the smoke is so dynamic. It can be used in so many different applications that it is definitely more important than the passive. Other players cannot see through the smoke, so use this ability to your advantage whenever possible. Bangalore has 2 smoke grenades, so you can fire 2 back to back and blanket a very large area with smoke. Each grenade has a cooldown of 33 seconds, so if you shoot both in one gunfight, you will be waiting over a minute to have them back again. Also, if you directly hit an enemy player, it will do about 10 damage to them. But honestly, I never try to do this, it just happens sometimes when I'm shooting my smoke to try to get away. Bangalore's ultimate ability, Rolling Thunder, is an artillery strike that slowly creeps across the map. You can call it in by pressing the left and right bumpers at the same time, and a flare grenade will appear. Throw the flare grenade in the area where you want the airstrike to begin. A blanket of around 20 bombs will start landing where your flare is and end about 50 meters away in the direction that you threw it. The bombs will then explode after a few seconds in the order in which they landed. Even though Bangalore is an offensive legend, I see this ability as more of a defensive move. It's pretty easy for enemies to turn and run out of the area where the bombs are and to hide behind or underneath cover to avoid explosions. Enemies can even position themselves directly in between the bombs and take very minimal damage. I wouldn't expect to get a lot of kills with this ability at all. Each bomb doesn't really do that much damage unless the enemy player is very close to it. The bombs do not hurt your squad mates, but they will stun and disorient them. The cooldown on this ability is 4.5 minutes, so using ultimate accelerants with Bangalore is a great idea unless you're force feeding them to Lifeline. Alright, so that's a basic overview of her abilities. Now let's talk strategies. Pro tip number 1. Smoke out the enemy location in order to limit their visibility. Many players shoot the smoke grenade at their own feet, which is actually pretty effective at hiding your positioning so you can heal, retreat, or reposition, but you can also use it offensively by shooting it into a house with enemies or directly on an enemy position to force them to either move out of that location to regain visibility, in which case you can fire on them, or lock them down and close the distance. Also, if you have a Bloodhound on the squad, they can use their super to see through the smoke. Bangalore and Bloodhound are one of the best duos in the game. Pro tip number 2. Smoke a random location to distract an enemy team and flank. I'm surprised I don't see this more often. This works so well, almost like Gibraltar's dome of protection. Enemy players assume that where there's smoke, there's fire. Aggressive enemy squads will rush a smoked area hoping to find you, but if you've shot your smoke away from you, you're actually drawing them out. I'm actually guilty of not doing this very often because it does require that you know where an enemy team is without them knowing where you are, but when it works, man, it's a thing of beauty. Pro tip number 3. Use your smoke to pick up down squad mates, loot death boxes, and loot care packages. This honestly doesn't sound like a pro tip, but I put it in the pro tips because I really want to hammer this point home. Anytime you are looting a death box or getting a care package or reviving a squad mate, you are super vulnerable. The smoke hides your exact location, you can't see through it. If you're in it, you can see for a few meters, but that's it. So any enemy squad who is looking to take a shot at you because you are standing still for a few seconds will have to engage you at a close range or not engage you at all. I can't stress this enough. When you're in the middle of a gunfight and need to revive a squad mate, or you've just finished a fight, smoke out the area to recover. The only time I wouldn't do this is when you're trying to conceal your location towards the end of the game. Maybe there's 2 or 3 squads left and you don't want to call attention to your position, but any other time during the game you should be doing this. Pro tip number 4. Use Bangalore's ultimate defensively to force enemies to find cover instead of shooting at you. If you or one of your squad mates is in trouble, throw your ultimate down. It will not hurt your squad mates, although it will slow them and blur their vision a little, but it will force the enemy team to take cover or retreat out of your rocket field. This should give you around 8 to 15 seconds to recover or get to a safer location or allow the rest of your squad to come to your rescue. You can also do this if you get caught out in the open. Smoke your location first, then throw down your ultimate on the enemy's position and they will be forced to hide from the rockets. Again, this should allow you some time to get out of the open and into cover. Pro tip number 5. Choose a mid to close range weapon loadout. Bangalore's abilities are focused around poking and prodding the enemy, irritating them with smoke, limiting their visibility, and stunning them with her ultimate. So shotguns, assault rifles, and submachine guns are best. My favorite loadout as of when this video was published is the Hemlock assault rifle and the EVA 8 shotgun. The Hemlock is phenomenal at medium range, and the EVA is one of the best short range weapons in the game under the current meta. Obviously, everyone's aiming abilities are different, so play with the guns that feel the most comfortable to you. My suspicion is that if you are comfortable playing at a slower pace, playing with positioning and using guns that don't require a ton of skill, Bangalore might not be the best option. If you prefer to snipe, Bangalore might not be the best option for you. Listen, there are many more strategies that I may not have talked about, so if you have your own pro tip, make sure you leave it in the comments. I would love to hear how you guys are using Bangalore. Hopefully this video helped you in some way, as that is always my goal. Thanks for watching. Trigger out.